Yeah,
Mhm.
furry. That's true. Furry. Other than
According
You
to the
that,
have to
website, the
mute.
rabbi's been gone since June of 2021.
oh, you looked it up.
I
Michael,
did.
you're just so astute.
Google's
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Okay, this isn't in the book, so I apologize. But all you need to know is Torah, 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 and then Tziva Lanu Moshe, okay? And a little bit about Moses. Some dude named Moses helped us out with the scroll. And it's Shavuot. It's Shavuos. Depends on who's saying it. And so we are celebrating receiving the Torah. I'm sorry, you're adorable and really like distracting in the best way. Oh my goodness, you are Torah to us. And so we are going to start with a song that I actually sing with our little cuties in Gan Shalom when we're passing the Torah scroll around. And this morning at our festival and Yizkor service, I said to Rabbi Singer, this is how we're opening and closing tonight. So it starts out like this. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu.
Please don't graduate and leave me.
Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu. Now, I want you to dig really deep inside of yourself and find your inner child somewhere.
Cantor, can I add
All right?
something?
Yes?
I learned this song in kindergarten, and I learned it with hand motions, and I'm
You
literally
did?
having to hold my
Get
hands
over
here
here.
so that I don't, it's like that my heart wants to
here.
do the hand motions.
Here.
We don't
Rabbi
have to do them.
Singer,
I
come
know.
here.
No, we just would unroll the Torah while we were singing Torah,
Can we
Torah.
do that? Okay, so
If you want,
listen,
you don't have
follow
to.
Rabbi Singer. You don't have to, but we're watching you. And we do take note of the people that are participating or not, just so you know. Later on, I'm like, did you see her sitting there doing nothing?
No, we don't. We
Unbelievable.
don't.
Okay.
It was like comedy hour of opening services.
Okay.
So sing the song.
But, so now we're going to do it at a real rhythm with the spirit of God Shalom, with the spirit of you in kindergarten,
Yes.
which must have been adorable.
Thank you.
Okay? And if for our sweet baby, is that Yvette?
Yes.
Yvette, this might be your first time hearing this, not the last. Okay, are you ready, everyone? Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu. Okay, so what do we do now? Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe.
That's the whole thing.
Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu. Just you. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva. All right, do it up high. Here we go, Hagba. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. It was fun
Shabbat
being a
Shalom.
kid. Shabbat Shalom.
I did realize there were probably other hand motions, and I probably just couldn't remember
No,
them.
that was
so
perfect.
That was the one that really stuck
That's all
with
we
me,
needed.
what the Torah is. Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat
everybody.
Shalom.
It's so wonderful to be here with you. So awake and energized now that we're moving into this service. Also, Chag Sameach, Happy Shavuot. I wanted to start off by talking about the different flavors of Shabbat. I think the flavors of Shabbat change throughout the year, right? We have Shabbat in the winter when Shabbat starts really early and we walk in here and it's already dark. We have Shabbat in the fall when we come in and there are leaves under our feet and the air smells fresh and we know that we're heading into the high holidays or we're heading into Sukkot. And now we're heading into Shabbat of the summer. And Shabbat of the summer is a longer, slower Shabbat We actually get more, it feels like we get more Shabbat. Shabbat starts later and it ends later. And we hopefully get to slow down even more than we might in other parts of the year and just be outside and enjoy and spend time really basking in Shabbat. So as we move into these first Shabbats of the summer, I hope we can just say, oh my gosh, it's going to be a slow Shabbat. It's going to be a hopefully warm Shabbat. It's going to be a beautiful time to be together and pray and sing and celebrate. We're going to open up the service with light, with bringing in the light that we see physically in these candles, but also the light that is coming from each and every one of you. And I'm very honored to invite up Jeffrey Schomer to help us light the Shabbat candles. Jeffrey, along with some others of you, were at a very late night Shavuot celebration last night and are still here tonight, which is such a huge accomplishment and so impressive. So thank you, Jeffrey.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Jeffrey, thank you for all you do for us.
Shabbat Shalom. Cantor, will you lead us in the Kiddush?
I am going to, but may I pull an audible, if you don't mind? You know, when I think about Judaism, what brings me joy is not a picture of myself, trust me. It's the thought of my extraordinary students that I've watched grow over the years. So, Miss U Penn, will you please come and share Kiddush with me so I can stand by your side again up here on this bima? Yeah, I mean, don't be too excited about it. Okay, so you got this?
We rise in body and in spirit. We're on page 123.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon himchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techiva lemikra'e kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim ki banu baharta ve'otanu kidasha mikol hamim v'shabbat kodeshecha ve'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Mazel tov, Sydney. I now get to invite up, please be seated. I now get to invite up Evie, Amanda, and Joey to come so that Evie can receive her Hebrew name and be welcomed into our people and our community. So the three of you can come join me up here. Hello. How are are you doing? Shabbat Shalom. It's so great to meet you. Your mom promised that you would be calm and smiley, and it's true, you are. So, Evie, I think that there is nothing more lucky for you or auspicious for living a life of joy and delight than the fact that your parents met as adults on a Disney cruise. And I'm sorry, I had to include that because I think it's just the best information and really bodes well for your experience as a child. We get to give you your Hebrew name today as a marker of who you're going to become. You're going to become your own person. You're going to become whoever you want to be. But you receive this name to honor the people who came before you and to hold with you and carry with you the values that your parents are going to raise you with in this world. So you are named Ruth Yael. How extraordinary is it to welcome a new Ruth into our community on Shavuot, on the holiday that celebrates Ruth, our extraordinary ancestor, who we say is going to be the great-great-great-great-great-grandmother of the Messiah, the great-great-great-grandmother of the person who will totally and utterly change the world and make it better. You're named Ruth after your great-grandmother, who was an extraordinary person who knew how to take care of people and knew how to look after people and knew how to check in on people. And you're named Yael because Yael was another extraordinary female character of Jewish biblical history. Yael had strength. Yael was a leader. Yael brought our people a lot of hope. And you do all of those things. And so Ruth, Yael, Evie, Amanda, Joey, we now get to give you a very special blessing. So I'm going to wrap you all in a talit.
Here, I got you. Wait. There you go.
Appreciate it. The cantor is going to wrap you in the talit.
Okay. Hi, guys. Take that in. Hi, sweet pea. You know, yeah, this is much better than, but I'm glad to see that you've already started gaming. That's so cool.
And I'm going to invite everybody to send your own blessings to Ruth Yael, her way, by holding up your hands, like is our Temple Shalom tradition to do, as we give her the three-part benediction, the priestly blessing. May God bless you and protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'huneka.
May God's light shine upon you and feel very dear to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May you feel the presence of meaning, the presence of love, the presence of this community wrapped around you like this talit, and may it bring you a deep sense of peace. And together we say Amen.
Siman tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, siman tovu, siman tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, siman tovu, siman tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, siman tovu, yehelanu. And this is your parents' one. Mickey Mouse. Have fun being raised by them. I'm jealous. Thank you, guys.
We turn now to Lecha Dodi. We are on page 138, and we are going to do verses 2, 5, 7, and 9. 2, 5, 7, and 9.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Ishmianu el hamyuchad, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, שמו תפארת ולי תהילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, התעוררי התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please rise and we face the entry.
בואי לשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We stay standing and we turn to page 146 for the Baruch Hu.
Lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Leolam Vaed.
We turn to page 152. We're celebrating Shavuot, which is the holiday of learning. And there's just no way that learning can happen if we don't focus on how we listen. And Shema, one of the core prayers of our entire service, is just simply saying, listen, listen, listen.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated on page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אדוני אלוהיכם.
Annette, we turn to page 158 for Micha Mocha, where we sing and, I don't know, just celebrate the stories of our freedom.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך בוקעים לפני משה ומרים זה ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד
We are on page 162 for Vishamru.
We usually do this really last week with our with our confirmands we were getting the drum beat going, but I love this because it's as I keep Shabbat, Shabbat keeps me, and so it doesn't always have to be a bombastic, crazy, wild Vishamru. Sometimes it can be sweet and gentle. And this particular melody is referred to among the clergy when we're discussing different settings. This is the South African melody of this particular prayer. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפל.
We invite you to rise in body or in spirit and turn to page 164 for the Amidah.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach. Ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, Ananana sefatai tiftach. Ananana ufi agir. Ufi agir tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana sefatai tiftach. Ananana ufi agir. Ufi agir tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanura El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'konei hakol Zocher chasei avot v'imahot U'mevii geula livnei v'neihem Leman shemo v'yahava Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen Baruch atah Adonai magen Avraham V'ezrat Sarah Atah gibor le'olam Adonai Mechayei hakol atah Rav lo'oshia Morid hatal, mechalkel chaim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishene afar, michamocha val gevurot, umido melach, melech memit, umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'neman atal hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol, atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yehalalucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Wellfleet Shabbat by Marge Piercy. The hawk eye of the sun slowly shuts. The breast of the bay is softly feathered dove gray. The sky is barred like the sand when the tide trickles out. The great doors of Shabbat are swinging open over the ocean, loosing the moon floating up slow, distorted vast, a copper balloon just sailing free. The wind slides over the waves, patting them with its giant hand, and the sea stretches its muscles in the deep, purls and rolls over. The sweet candles flicker and sigh, standing between the flocks and the roast chicken. The wine shines its red lantern of joy. Here on this piney sand spit, the Shekhinah comes on the short, strong wings of the seaside sparrow, raising her song and bringing down the fresh, clean night. We take time for personal prayer and reflection, and if you're standing when you're done, please be seated.
Oh, say shalom, shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru Shalom Imromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael.
We take a moment now to send prayers of healing and strength to anybody we know that has had a hard week, a hard month, or a challenging year. Anyone we know who could be struggling physically, who could be having a really hard time psychologically, emotionally, or spiritually. If there's somebody who you're thinking of and you'd like to share their name out loud, to just say, "I'm thinking of you," please do so as I pass my hand around the room. We turn to Misha Berach on page 371.
So I'm keeping my microphone on for our beautiful people at home. But what I really would love is if you would lead me instead of me leading you, and that you could really hear yourselves. So I'm going to sing a little softer, and I'd love you to sing a little bit louder. Misha Berach Teinu Mekor HaBracha Imoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. Amen. Misha Berach Imoteinu Makor HaBracha Le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema. The renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And happy Shavuot, Chag Sameach. Shavuot is one of those holidays where, at least in the Reform world, I happen to believe that it needs a little bit of a rebrand. Because it falls towards the end of the year, towards the end of the school year, it's not particularly well known or a widely celebrated holiday. It is nowhere near in the running competition-wise with Hanukkah or Passover or other holidays that are really widely celebrated in the Jewish community. But Shavuot is an extraordinary holiday. Some of you may not really have celebrated Shavuot, and others of you have barely slept because you're Shavuot fanatics. But wherever you are on the Shavuot spectrum, I can't help but feeling that for all of us, it could be helpful to take some time to understand and even reevaluate the holiday so we can think about how we as 21st century Jews can continue to celebrate it in a modern and deeply relevant way. Shavuot began biblically as a celebration of the summer grain harvest. But over time, it evolved, and it now celebrates the story of the Jewish people receiving Torah. It's a celebration of a shared story, of our shared story, of the shared story that connects us as Jewish people, past, present, and future. Around the 1500s, which is relatively recent in the span of Jewish history, a tradition began called a Tikkun Leil Shavuot, which is the tradition of staying up all night and learning and studying Torah. The very first Tikkun Leil Shavuot took place, the very first one that's recorded, took place in Greece, they think around the year 1533. And to be honest, when you look at the texts, it sounds like it was a phenomenal party. We, I think, would have loved to have been there. Many of the famous rabbis of that time were present, partying and learning in Greece, including some of the rabbis who wrote the prayers that we prayed tonight. There's a story that one rabbi who was there tells about his experience of the Tikkun Leil Shavuot. I'm going to tell you the story. I'll give you a heads up that it is a little bit of a wild story. He says that everybody who was there vowed that no matter what, they were not going to sleep. And they pulled out all of their favorite texts and their favorite stories, and they studied and discussed and read and laughed until a voice, possibly the voice of God, possibly the voice of the Torah itself, a voice suddenly appeared out of nowhere. And the voice said, "How extraordinary is it that all of you chose to crown me tonight in such honor?" The voice continued and said, "For many years I have felt neglected and alone, but tonight I feel like you have put a crown on my head, and you have restored me, and you see my glory." What a story. It has everything a good rabbinic tale should have. It has devout study that leads to disembodied voices, that leads to affirmation for these rabbis that they were doing something wonderful. When I hear this story, I don't hear it literally. What I take from it is the idea that on Shavuot, we take time to treat the process of learning as royalty. We take time to study, not for a grade or a project or material outcome, but just because learning, just because expanding our minds and finding new ways of seeing our world is enjoyable and is a wonderful thing to do. Shavuot focuses on a Jewish concept that I think is needed, desperately maybe, in our secular culture. This is the idea of Torah lishma, which means learning just for the sake of learning. Torah lishma is the idea that learning cannot always be about achieving an end, but that it is a valuable activity in and of itself. We need more Torah lishma, more learning for the sake of learning. And it's so convenient to have the holiday of Shavuot to help us focus on and celebrate and protect and discuss the ways in which we learn. Being a great learner is really challenging in the modern age. It's something that I struggle with, and I imagine many of you do too. We have more information at our fingertips than our ancestors ever could have dreamed of. But that same technology that informs us and educates us thrives on our distraction. So learning, the kind where we listen or read or focus or go deeply into a topic, needs our care and our protection. What would it look like to treat Shavuot as an organized communal ritual that helps us respond to distraction? What would it look like to, on Shavuot, ask ourselves, how can we use this holiday to refocus, to think about our hopes and dreams for the ways in which we are going to learn and pay better attention this year? Which of our habits are serving us and which are getting in the way of our learning? Our ancestors kept evolving Shavuot. It was a grain festival, it was a Torah festival, it was a party in Greece, it was a place where we stayed up all night and studied. It changed over and over again to serve the needs of their time. And this Shavuot, I'm wondering how we can do the same. Shabbat Shalom. We have some announcements about some learning opportunities that might be coming your way. So the first is that on Thursday, June 1st, you can join the Mini Solomon Zichronan Livracha Book Club, which is mixed presence, so both in person and online. And they meet for engaging discussions every first Thursday of the month. And this month's meeting, they're going to discuss Trust by Hernan Diaz.
And I'll mention, and then we'll go back to next weekend, but there's something I'm finally old enough and young enough for, which is the 40s and 50s mini golf. And
a different kind of learning,
what?
yes.
It's Sunday, June 4th at 1 p.m. It's an in-person only. And it says golf skills not required. Okie dokie. So an important thing for next weekend, which I really do look forward to every year, is our Congregational Pride Shabbat. It will be next weekend, 6:15, mixed presence. You should expect a lot of participatory, beautiful, additional readings, and just your heart will burst with a lot of love next weekend, so please be with us.
And we just want to remind you that the Temple Sholom offices will be closed on Monday, May 29th in observance of Memorial Day.
So that you all can stay home and learn too.
Yes. So we're here in case of emergency,
Yes.
but if you email with something that is not life or death, you may receive an out-of-office message. And we'll look forward from hearing from us on Tuesday. So we turn to page 586 for the Aleinu. Please rise in body and in spirit.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. We continue on 591. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We take time now to honor the memories of people who we are missing, people who we have loved, and people who we have lost. If there's somebody you're thinking of who has died in the past week, in the past month, in the past year, or in previous years at this time, please share their name out loud and bring a little bit of their presence into this room with us as I pass my hand around the room. We add to those names Thomas L. Bookie, Michael Freeman, Harriet Mednick, Geraldine Pergament, Ronald Benich, Burl Coven, Natalie Barney, Evelyn Bloomfeld, Jacob Neuschatz, Lori Brown, Ronald Burstein, Jean Charnay, Bernice Cohen, Harvey Lawrence Kustan, Harold Kreitz, Alan Epstein, Mark Bouma Fintel, Murray Haberman, Isaac Hecker, Ann Hirsch, Max Jacobson, Philip Katzman, Dr. Harry King, M. Jack Lefkowitz, Harry King, Florence Levine, Estelle Lewis, Herman Lieberman, Bessie Nemero, Dr. Evelyn Perloff, Ruth Resnick, Iris Chopin, Lori Siegel, Sydney Shapiro, Mitchell Schifrin, Dolores Stillman, Elizabeth M. Tackett, Tom Trabasso, Florence Wardy, Annette Wilk, and John M. Winston. May their memories be for a blessing. We rise in body or in spirit, and we turn to our mourner's Kaddish on page 598.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה. לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמא וימרו. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו. עושה שלום ממרומיו, ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו. עושה שלום ממרומיו, ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו. Amen. Be seated for one more second. I know you'll give me that note of whatever it was. Before we end with how we began, I have to say that if you're ever annoyed with me, you can blame Helene Cohn because she's a big reason why I'm here. She's one of the first beautiful voices that I spoke to and welcomed me here. And we share a lot of birthdays in our families, okay? And it happens to be that I also share some special birthdays with Mr. Mark Kaufman. So tonight is Mark's birthday. Bill's birthday is next Tuesday. My husband's birthday is tonight. Is it Robert's birthday? Robert, happy birthday! So then I also want you to know that Ming Q just disappeared in the middle of the service. And the reason why is it because her son Leo's birthday is today. So I mean, we're all one big happy, crazy, wild family. We're mishpucha, okay? And this is what mishpucha do. We go like this. Are you ready? Torah, 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 Tziva lanu. Eva, you made it the whole time. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe. Torah, Tziva lanu Moshe. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov, mazel tov, Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Please join us in Betty Ford
Have a
Hall for
wonderful
some
weekend. I'll see you on the
dessert.
beach.